DeWitt. I'm going to show you a collage method that I use to create the subject matter that I paint from. I do paintings and I work usually from a picture, and sometimes I work from a photo, but sometimes I need the photo to be, there has to be a little bit more meaning to it. So I make collages, and I find that using a lot of different subjects in a collage makes the painting a lot more interesting. Dog picture collage, maybe, in some sort of, I don't know. It's best not to get too involved with the subject matter because you can't really think, if you could think it out totally, why bother doing it? So basically, I think I'm going to start with a picture of Charlie. And if you use photos, you want to make the decision as to whether you can cut them up or not. In this case, I've chosen photos. I don't mind cutting up. I have a lot of photos, and so I don't mind that. If it's a problem, you're better off taking them to get copied so you can use them in a collage. The worst case scenario is that you feel sad because you've ruined a photo that you can't retrieve again. So anyway, I'm just going to start. And a lot of this is just sort of off the top of my head because I don't really know how it's going to work. It's just, these all just sort of evolve. So I might just glue this down like this, and then I have a nice color here that I'd like to use. You have to understand that in working with collage, there's many of the things that you're dealing with actually become different. If they remain the same, then there's really no magic to it at all. A landscape of pine trees that I thought might be nice, just change the setting a little bit rather than that background. So again, I really don't have any idea where I'm going to go with this, and that's part of the fun, actually, to just have faith in yourself to kind of see what happens. So it puts Charlie in a whole different kind of situation. I like this frame motif, and so I think I'm going to use that as well. Let's make a frame there like that. So he's ending up being a little bit framed. I see that. I think what I'd like to do is actually make a kind of a mirror image of him as if it's sort of water. I do that a lot. And speaking of water, here's some really nice water right here that I think would work well. So I'll cut that out. And I think I'm going to put it right there for now. Cover that part up. I think this shape will work. I have a little bit of writing here, but I think that's okay. And I think I'm going to place it right about there. See what that looks like. Now again, I understand that the papers that I put down I might cover up depending on how the whole composition goes. So that to me sort of looks like a shadow a little bit. And that's interesting because, you know, here's this kind of interesting environment. Now I have to look at this a little bit and see what else I can do. maybe what I'll want to do is do a texture here, sort of like grass. I'll put that down and see what that looks like. Okay. And I think I might cut some of this off. Just make it a bit shorter. And then maybe reapply that. I also found this this nice picture of some hills there, and I was going to put it on the top, but I think I'm going to put it on the side, like right here, and you can see what happens is that you know, a lot of these shapes sort of come together in an interesting way that even though this is an entirely different picture, this sort of becomes one shape, so it's almost sort of more like a reflection. And then I just found this little scrap. I thought maybe that could kind of tie that part off there. I may need to add something to it so it isn't quite so thin. And if you look very carefully, sometimes just a little scrap of paper will do it. This requires me to look very, very carefully at what I'm doing. Right now I have the image. I think this might just about be done, and I'm thinking that I might want to add something right here because this is sort of a window that bleeds out. I'm going to keep the picture in its entirety, and I think that will contrast nicely with the other images that I've brought in. Well, in my search, I just found some nice green solid forest that I think will repeat this motif up here, but yet frame it, and I think that's going to work. I try to keep my composition simple because there's so much going on as far as the imagery goes, all different kinds of colors and textures and pictures, and so I think that might just tie it off right there, kind of complete the frame. And now I feel like maybe I just have to end it a little bit more down here just to confine the whole thing in a picture. So I'm going to look a little bit now to see what I can use. Okay, I think I found it. Basically, it's just this paper, the same color, and it's just going to be a simple frame. I'm going to glue it right down here, and then I think that will tie everything in. Right about there, I think. And that's interesting because then that form is almost like it goes underneath and comes out. Okay, and I'm pretty much finished with this. I wanted you to get a clearer picture of what this collage looks like now, and I consider that finished. I think it's pretty solid composition-wise. It's obviously a portrait of Charlie, but it has some really nice images in there, and this might make an interesting painting.